Hello everyone, welcome to Chemical Engineering Concepts, and today we are starting our new series of 4-5 videos that will be based on the kinetics of enzymatic reactions, which is a newly added topic in the GATE Chemical Engineering syllabus. So in this series, our first discussion is on the Michaelis-Menten kinetics. If we talk about the simplest to even the most complex, the biological processes are generally fermentation and the action of living entities. Now this fermentation could be catalyzed by microorganisms, right? Or they can be catalyzed by enzymes, right? They could be promoted by enzymes, and these enzymes are produced by these microbes only, right? So these enzymes are basically high molecular weight compounds which are very specific and are usually only act on one compound, and the microorganisms that they generally use are yeast, bacteria, molds, protozoa, or algae. Now let's go deeper into understanding these enzymes. An enzyme is a protein or protein-like substance that acts on a substrate, which is a reactant molecule, to transform it chemically at a greatly accelerated rate, which is faster than the uncatalyzed rates. Without these enzymes, the essential biological reactions, which would not take place at a rate necessary to sustain life. And we know that these biological reactions happen in living entities, in all the living entities. These enzymes are usually present in very small quantities and are not consumed during the course of reaction, okay, which is a basic phenomena, and which is a basic feature of a catalyst, and nor they do affect the chemical reaction equilibria. These enzymes provide an alternative pathway, as we all know, for the reaction to occur, thereby requiring a lower activation energy. Okay, so this is the process, right? This is a slow process. This is a general process that will have to convert, that will be used to convert the substrate into the product. And when we use these enzymes, this reaction becomes faster and the production of these products becomes faster. Now let's go deeper into understanding the basic process, right? Now let's have a look at the mechanism by which the enzymes acts. So what happens? First, the substrates get attached to the active site of the enzyme. That this is the active site that we all know, right? Now we here will get an enzyme substrate complex that you can see here. Okay, we have got the complex, and finally what will happen? Finally the product will get detached from the enzyme. So this is the basic mechanism of the action of the enzyme. Now to see the mechanism of this enzyme in detail, we have taken an example of the action of urease, which converts urea produced in our body into ammonia and carbon dioxide. So we can see the basic action of urease. Okay, so let's have the mechanism. Okay, we are discussing now the mechanism, which includes a sequence of some elementary reactions. Okay, so these are the elementary reactions that we have. First, what happens? The enzyme urease, represented by E, reacts with the substrate urea, represented by S, to form an enzyme substrate complex that we all can see. This complex can decompose back to urea and urease, or it can react. Okay, so this is the first condition, or it can react with water to give the products which are ammonia and carbon dioxide, and recover the enzyme again. Okay, this enzyme urease is recovered again. Now we know that to determine the kinetics of any reaction, we need to determine the rate law basically. Okay, so here we will do the same thing. We have to determine an overall rate law, right? For which let's look at the kinetics, and we will now define the rates. Okay, so we have these rates. These are the simple rates of the three basic elementary reactions that we have written. Okay, so these are the rates. The first is the rate of disappearance of both the of E and S. The second one is the production of the changing of this complex, and finally we have the production, right? The rate of product formation finally. Okay, so these are the three basic reaction steps. Okay, and these are the rate laws for all the reaction steps. Now if you closely monitor these rates, we have this term E, right? This E term, we cannot actually measure this enzyme, and if you closely monitor this ES term, okay, this ES term is what? The complex, okay, and we cannot measure this enzyme substrate concentration, this complex concentration, right? So here we will express this ES, okay, we will express this ES in terms of the measured variables, some of the measured variables, right? And for which if we just write down the rate of the net rate of disappearance for this for these relationships, so this is the net rate of disappearance, okay, using the equation 1 and equation 2, right? So in this equation we all can see this ES term, so we have to substitute something in the place of this ES term, okay. So what we will use here, we will use the pseudo steady state hypothesis, okay. What it is, let me just tell you. So this is what this is, we are taking the net rate of formation of the enzyme substrate complex, and if we assume the pseudo steady state hypothesis, we can assume this rate, the net rate of formation of the enzyme substrate complex as to be 0. Now from this equation we can determine the value of the ES complex, right? So this is what we have got. This is the simplest form, and now all these terms are there. Now here one more thing is there, okay, one more thing is there, which is what, which is our term E, right? So using this term we have got this equation, right? Now what we have done, we have just substituted this term here, right? This ES term is substituted. Still we cannot use this rate law because we do not know the enzyme concentration, okay, we do not know the unbounded enzyme concentration, which is capital E, right? However we can measure the total enzyme concentration, right? So this is the total enzyme concentration, which includes the unbounded enzyme surface area and the bounded surface area with the substrate. Now when we just use this term in this ES equation, we have got the E term, okay. So here we have got the E also. Now we will substitute this E into our net rate of disappearance term, okay, this term, and what we will get, we will get this equation, right? So this is the I should call it a pre-final form of the Michaelis-Menten equation, right? So some terms here are constant, okay, because the reaction of urea and urease is carried out in the aqueous solution. Water here is of course the aqueous solution, which is in excess quantity. So the concentration of water here is taken as constant. So this K3 is already a constant, W is a constant, and that will make a Kcat. Kcat, we will discuss Kcat in detail. It is basically a turnover number, and we will discuss this in details, right? So other terms we have got here. Now I will assume this equation, okay. For that we can use the third equation. You must remember about the three rate laws. So from the third rate law equation we can use this equation, right? So this is what we have got till now, and also we can assume this Kcat multiplied by Et, which is Vmax. So Vmax is what? Simply Vmax is the maximum rate of disappearance, okay, or we can say the maximum rate of reaction, right? So if you just replace it, this is the final rate of equation, final rate law, and this is how we have defined our kinetics. Okay, so we have got our kinetics, which is Michaelis-Menten kinetics. Okay, so you can define like this, you can define like this, and the things are the same. Now let's have a look at the turnover number, kcat, the term which we just defined. So kcat is nothing but the number of substrate molecules or moles converted to products in a given time on a single enzyme molecule, right? Please remember this. This is important. And if you just see an example, we have seen just an example of the hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is going to the enzyme, and finally we'll get this oxygen molecule, water, and the enzymes will detach. Enzyme will be in the same position. Okay, so here in this case, this huge number of molecules of hydrogen peroxide converted to the product per second on a single enzyme molecule. Okay, so this is our turnover number. Okay, this is our turnover number, the number of substrate molecules converted to product in a given time on a single enzyme molecule. Okay, so this is a single enzyme molecule. You should remember this. Okay, and its significance as well. Now let's have a look at the importance of this Michaelis-Menten constant. If we just roughly define this term, this is for the simple systems. It is basically the measure of the interaction of enzymes for its substrate, and so it is also known as the affinity constant. Okay, this is a rough, or we can say a general definition. Okay, to understand it better, consider a case when the substrate concentration, guys remember this, the substrate concentration is such that the reaction rate is equal to 1/2 of the maximum rate. Okay, so let's suppose this we have supposed this is a maximum rate, and if the rate of disappearance is half of this rate, so what will happen? The substrate will get reduced to half. Okay, substrate will get reduced to the half value, right? So this is what we have got. You can see by comparing the two terms in the denominator, Km is almost equal to the half of the substrate left. Okay, and we can just monitor this plot to understand things better. Okay, so this is the basically Michaelis-Menten constant. Okay, so this is the way we define it. The Michaelis-Menten constant is equal to the substrate concentration. Okay, this is the substrate concentration at which the rate of the reaction is equal to 1/2 of the maximum rate. Okay, so this is how we define the Michaelis-Menten constant. So guys, this was from my side on this Michaelis-Menten kinetics. We will come up with more topics related to the enzymatic kinetics, right? So till then, you can just subscribe to my channel. Okay, this is my channel, Chemical Engineering Concept. We have started a new channel, and please hit the bell icon. Okay, so that you never miss any update on the upcoming lectures. We will be more than happy to help you, right? So please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button. Thank you so much.